Hello, everybody, and welcome to the top 5 new comics for July 10th, 2024. I'm, as always, Chris, and we got a cool slate this week, so let's jump right into it, starting with Action Comics number 1067. This is written by Gail Simone, art by Artist-Eddy Barrows, inks by Danny Miki, colors by Rex Locus, and letters by Dave Sharp. Basically, with Action Comics, it's been interesting doing this new creative team every so often. I really enjoyed the Jason Aaron run. Joshua Williamson's was interesting because it tied into his Superman run as well, which was really fun. But I do like Action Comics now being its own thing again. And one of the big reasons to recommend this is twofold. One, new creative team means great place for people to jump on. And it is a great creative team. I mean, getting Gail Simone's and Artist-Eddy Barrows together is awesome. Just such a good job for them to do. And I like that it's a younger Superman story. It's Superman near the beginning of his career, dealing with some of those issues as well. So all around, I just think this is a great book to recommend. I know it's 1067 in a series, but it's a great place to jump on. It's part one of a new story. It doesn't tie into much of anything else. It's really just like classic Superman stuff. So really can't recommend jumping on here enough. Action Comics has been a blast. And now that it's done with a big crossover and it can stand alone again, it's just going to be a lot of fun for people to have some good Superman comics. And all around, I'll say the Superman line has been phenomenal recently. Ever since Joshua Williamson took over, they did this whole Superman Superstars thing. It's just been a blast reading fun, good Superman books again. After that, we've got the Ultimates number 2. This is written by Writer-Deniz Camp with art by Juan Frigeri, colors by Federico Blee, and letters by Travis Lanham. Really like the first issue of the Ultimates. We did get a little into the origin of the Ultimate Universe, which if you've been following the Ultimate stuff, we've done already, but I get it. Maybe you'll miss that. We got to see where all these characters are coming from. We didn't linger on it too much. And then we got to where Tony and crew went wrong and how they plan to fix those wrongs moving forward. And basically saying that we can't just recreate what the Ultimate Universe was supposed to be. We have to create a new one. And hopefully the people that were supposed to be these different characters can be them moving forward. But since they've had different life experiences, we will see who they are, who they become. Love the introduction of Giant Man and Wasp. Classic Avengers characters needed to be some of the first on the team, at least first additions to the team. I'm interested to see where the Free Comic Book Day issue ties in, because that was a character I really have always loved in the Captain America lore. Maybe we see more of him. I don't know. At the same time, we've got this countdown to when the Maker comes out of his big city, and how that's going to affect what the Ultimates are doing and their timeline. Just really enjoyed the Ultimates. Enjoyed the Ultimate Universe as a whole. It's great to have it back. I cannot recommend the Ultimates enough. It was just a really fun first issue that set up a lot of cool things and seems to be more of the universe book than the team book that the original Ultimates was. So, Ultimates number 2, great book. After that is The Domain, number 1. This is written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Rachel Stott, with colors by Enrica Aaron Angolini, and letters by Jeff Powell. Interesting letter, but I'll just say that. So if anyone doesn't know, The Domain is the comic inside of the comic public domain. We've been talking about this book, or this character, The Domain, inside of public domain for 6 issues now. And now they're at the point in the book where they're creating this new version of The Domain. And this book is that book. So this is the comic inside of the comic. So while it's a number 1, I wouldn't say this is a good jumping on point. I would definitely go and read Public Domain and get that whole backstory of who this is and what they're building towards. I just love that we're expanding the universe of Public Domain, which was such an intimate universe. And yet we're going to expand into a second book that I hope will bring more to the main book, if that makes any sense. I've adored Public Domain since it came out. I'm really happy to have it back. If you're going to give me more of that universe, of that world, I'm here for it. So Public Domain looks like a ton of fun. I'm sorry, The Domain looks like a ton of fun. And I like all the little callbacks to Public Domain and it having the Dallas Comics logo on it. You know, having the creators, the characters in the book as creators on this issue crossed out with the actual creators was a fun thing to add. There's just a lot of good coming into this book, so I'm really excited to check it out. After that, we've got Gatchaman, Galactor, number 1. This is written by Steve Orlando with art by Katherine Lobo and letters by Frank Kvetkovic. Sorry if I butchered your name, Frank. So I think we talked about it last week with Annihilation 299. Not the biggest Steve Orlando fan. Did enjoy Annihilation 299 though. But this whole Gatchaman universe that Mad Cave is pulling out, we've only done 2 issues, the main Gatchaman book and the Ken book. And I thought both were really well done. And I like what they're building here. And to immediately do a book about the big bad is interesting. It reminds me of what Robert Kirkman did with the G.I. Joe, doing Duke and Cobra Commanders, the first 2 G.I. Joe books. So in that way, I have faith that it works because it worked in this other sense. I just really like what they're doing with Gatchaman. I think that first issue was so much fun. And I think it's going to be a great IP for Mad Cave moving forward. And I'm just excited to get my hands on this one. To be fair, I've got my hands on it currently. I'll be having a review up this week as you're watching this of Galactor. But as we stand today, I have not read it. And just to get more of a glimpse into the evil organization of this universe and the big bad of this universe is going to be interesting and add a lot of depth to the main book. So kudos to Mad Cave. They're doing great stuff over there. And the Gatchaman universe is just one of them. But it's one that I am thoroughly enjoying. After that, and also finally, The Savage Sword of Conan, number 3. This is written by Frank Tieri and Alan Quah with art by Carrie Nord and Alan Quah. So if you haven't been reading Savage Sword of Conan, it is this magazine-sized book, a little bit pricier, but it is almost like a graphic novel with each issue. You're getting full stories, this big book, some of it black and white, some of it color, all around just awesome Conan stuff. And I really like the first 2 issues. They're just classic. If you like Conan the Barbarian, if you like barbarian stuff, it's fantasy action at its finest. Conan has just always been a fun IP that I've really enjoyed, especially in these last 5 or so years. And just getting the Savage Sword of Conan book, it's like a 6-issue series. They're doing some fun stuff with it, not taking it super seriously, but at the same time respecting that the Savage Sword of Conan name means something, and we need to continue that. And with that, they've been doing just so many fun action-packed stories with it. I've been loving Conan since Titan took over. This book in particular has been my favorite of the Conan stuff. No offense to Jim Zub. He's been doing a phenomenal job in the main book, and I look forward to the big crossover, which I'm sure we'll be talking about on this series in the future. But Savage Sword has just been great because I can really dig my teeth into a longer Conan the Barbarian story in one sitting. And it feels like the the creators on these issues have been taking more time with it. So all around, just a good series. I really enjoy Conan Barbarian, and Savage Sword has been so good. So good. So everybody, that is everything this week. Remember, if you want to follow me, it's at Fortress Chris on social media. Choose the network, and I'm probably there at Fortress Chris. Or you go over to chriscomicscorner.substack.com, where all of my writing is, my reviews, all that fun stuff. Support me over there. And if you want to follow my podcast, it's Fortress Comic News, where we talk to comic creators every week. We talk about the news and the books we're reading. So you hear me talk about most of these books after I've read them and how I felt after I read them. If you want the full circle moment of me getting excited at the beginning and where I end up with them at the end. And if you want to support this channel and this video series, thumbs up down below, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, let me know what books you are looking forward to most, all that fun stuff. So thank you all so much for watching this week, and I will see you all here next week.